Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome back to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Mac.
And what are we doing today?
We are finishing out our alphabet soup of the letter C. So we had so many C games, we had to split our video in two here. So if you haven't watched our first video, go check it out on our channel. So these are the remaining ones in our collection, and we're just going to go through them quick, let you know if we're going to keep them, call them, and what we think of them, maybe a short description, and just kind of keep going. So
yeah, and right off the bat, we'll start with our first two are kind of a little bit different than some of the other games we have. We'll start with, if you can't tell, this isn't just the boat game. It is Cribbage, a cribbage board. I think I got that one from my best friend, I believe. So
yeah,
it's a very nice looking boat cribbage board. But the boards come in all different. You can get pretty much anything for a cribbage board, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one that I don't think you had gotten back to play, but I played a few games of it on Board Game Arena. That's one of the nice games on there. It's really quick because it scores it all for you really quickly, so you can play it in like under 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a classic game, a game that I've played for quite some time. I don't know if you learned about it until...
No, you introduced me to it, and I think we were playing this for quite a, like, it was kind of hot for a while, and then we just totally stopped. Yeah. Because I think somebody got really distracted by all the other board games in the world. So.
I think so.
And I think we were playing it right before we got married, too, so it was in a really busy time of life.
Oh, right. I thought you said we weren't playing it right, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure we were playing it right, but yeah, it's a fun game. It's a quick game. If all you have is a deck of cards, it's one that you can do by just tallying up your score, too.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
It's got a special place in my heart. This one, on the other hand, you can see this is half of a chessboard.
Or checkers board.
It's true, it could be checkers. In this case, it is chess. And there's another one I played on Board Game Arena. This is actually one that maybe you probably played before. And I might have played it when I was young, but I didn't really know how to play it or anything until it's only like a handful of months ago.
Yeah.
Then your brother got me one because we didn't have a chess set in our collection, and I feel like it's a solid thing to have in a board game collection.
My older brother really likes chess, so he's got a really nice, I think it's like a court set from the Black Hills, and then my little brother also likes chess, surprisingly, and my dad plays with them, and so I think, it's just kind of something they like to do, so I think they were like, we'll get another one in here. We can have a 4-man tournament.
Right, yeah. And I feel like, to me, probably cribbage will always kind of be bigger for chess, just because I used to play it with my brother and mom when I was younger. Yeah. So this one just doesn't have quite the same thing to me. And it's also one that I don't know if I can ever get into 100%, just because I think if you really want to get into it and really be a good chess player, you have to dedicate a lot of time into it.
Yeah. I think it's one that's fun to pull out from time to time, but I am not proficient at chess at all. So it's more so just feeling cool, moving the pieces around and trying to figure it out. Yeah. There's no proficiency for me.
Yeah, that's the tough part about chess, too, is I think it's one of those games that definitely is going to favor the player that has knowledge of the game.
Right. So. And a strategic mindset. It's like so abstract strategy. So.
I don't even know if we get to see this.
Remember
That's true. We're gonna get all blurry now.
Yeah.
But this is Bruno Catala game.
Oh, it's a Bruno one.
It is. It's one that Jesse had kind of looked into on, believe it or not, Board Game Arena as well. So if any of these games are something interesting to you, or just in general, Board Game Arena is a great place to find some board games. This one's a small one, as you can see. It's just pretty much a card game.
He just taught it to us. It's a kind of a set collection-y card game, pyramid scheme.
You are making a pyramid. I don't know if it's a scheme, but you could say it's a scheme.
I actually really liked this one, so this was new to me, so I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know if we've mentioned it, but we will be keeping our cribbage and chessboard.
Yes.
So
yes.
And we will also be keeping Conspiracy. It was one of Jesse's
it's kind of
Favorite.
Jesse's games,
Yeah.
and it's one that he really likes, so I don't think he would allow us to get rid of it
Yeah.
anyway. But yeah, it's a small one too.
It's so small you
but
could almost get 2 copies.
Yeah, definitely check it out if you're looking for a small card game that's really quick.
Yeah, it's really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting theme. Doesn't really make sense to me, but
I think it's kind of based sort of like on the game Abyss, which I've only played like once or twice as well.
Okay.
But this one I think plays better at the lower player counts than that one.
gotcha.
Then, I'll just grab randomly.
Nice.
We got another small one. And this one is Coup. This one's actually one
It's one of
outside
our
of
first
Cribbage. Outside of Cribbage, it's been in our collection for quite some time.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, this was
Didn't-
Will Wheaton's tabletop.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe they had it on there, which
I
got me
thought-
interested in it.
I thought Taylor introduced us to this game though, and then we bought a copy. Maybe
Now
not.
that you say that might be true. Maybe
'Cause
I
I thought
just
they
totally
had-
remember
I
that wrong.
thought they
I don't
had-
even know if maybe he
I
doesn't
thought they
have that
had
video.
Coup and Hanabi, but maybe not.
You could be. That's probably right. I know they taught us Karuba and King Domino as well.
Yeah. Well, Taylor, you're watching. Let us know.
it might have been, but yeah, I remember getting it because I was into the what is it, deduction type games.
Yes.
Even though I think now that we have this one and like
Yep.
the Resistance, I've had them for a while. I realize they're better if you're always getting kind of together in bigger groups.
Yeah.
And I think it takes the right type of group too, because
Mm-hmm.
I think this one it works a little better than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
To be
I
able
prefer
to lie
this one
about
to
things.
Resistance. Yeah.
To be able to lie about some things, because yes, for some of the games like that, you can kind of tell, and some people are a little more uncomfortable trying to lie about things.
I was just gonna
This
say,
one
I
makes-
think this one can be harder to like, for some personalities to handle this game or other games like this. You know, this one I think is softer than some of the other games.
But yeah, I like it. We hadn't played it in quite some time, but
Yeah.
when we played it, I was like, this is pretty solid. But I think if we decided to ever, start really culling down the collection, I think
And
this
we
would
did
be
have
one to
room
go.
for this little teeny box. I think
Right.
it would go too, just because. Yeah, you really.
I just don't know
can
the
only-
situation when we play that
Yeah.
type of game.
Yeah. I
But-
mean, it's good. It's just
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, if you're looking to get into the social deduction type of games, I think it's a solid one. But
Oh, for sure. I don't think you'll find much better of one.
then we get to, outside of kind of chess being new to me, the first new one to both of us,
Yeah.
Curious Cargo. Hadn't played it until this year, and actually until that play
Yeah.
of this one. But this one was one that I think was nominated for a Dice Tower Award or something. I had kind of heard about it. It was based off of a bigger game from them, Pipeline, which I think was said to be way more complex and stuff, and I think it was for 4 players and stuff.
Okay.
So it just had me interested in it because I knew it had like some route building type things to it, and I really seem to love that in games. Yeah, we got a play of it, and I think we had kind of mixed thoughts on it. I know for you, if it was your choice, you'd probably just as well probably not play it again.
Yeah.
Or maybe give it one more chance just to see if you get a different feeling, but I don't think you would be
I don't know.
upset.
It's kind of disappointing because there are elements to it that I like. I just didn't like how they work together. Like, I think it's neat how they do it, but I don't know. I'm just kind of getting set in my ways and in my board games, I feel like this one, Railroad Inc. Like, I already have games that I know I like that are similar, like Karuba or whatever. And so it's just like, if I'm going to choose a game that has very similar elements, I'm going to choose the one that I like the most. And, you know.
I think I would have, to me, at least from that one play, I can't tell if it'd probably feel different with more plays, but it felt very lucky as to what pieces you were going to pick up. And I was kind of hoping for more of a better way to kind of plan what you were going to do.
Yeah, that was super frustrating.
Because, you could have times when you could get exactly the right kind of thing that you needed.
Or you'd get one in the wrong color that would fix one, but you're like, I don't need that color.
Right. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
yeah.
We'll probably give it a few more plays, try it a few more times, and see kind of what we think. But that one could potentially be leaving the collection, which is kind of a disappointment because I was really hoping to really love the game, especially being a 2-player game.
Yeah.
And just having kind of a lot of the 2-player games I think we have are more like card driven.
Yeah.
So I thought this would maybe be a little bit different than the normal 2-player game we had, but wasn't 100% sold on it after one play, which is really disappointing too because they've got little forklifts in there, and they are pretty awesome.
They are really
in my opinion.
They are really cute.
So, that is Curious Cargo. Oh boy. Then we get into if you watched our first half of the C games, we did the second game in the Century Golem edition, and well, you didn't play it, right?
I didn't play it.
And this one is actually the third one, so we're gonna go completely whack out of order. This one is, if you've played Century, either Spice Road or Golem edition, kind of the base game. It takes a lot of the same elements, only this one uses worker placement to kind of do the things instead of managing your hand of cards and kind of getting an engine going that way. I really like what this one changes up, just because I tend to like worker placement just in general. So I think this one is probably... I'd have to play them a few more times. This is probably my favorite of the three, right now, at least. But I'd be interested to see, because you can kind of combine them, mix and match. I'd be interested to see kind of how they work together. I haven't tried that yet. I've just played them all individually.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't played this one yet, so.
I think you'll want to maybe try those two at least once and see maybe which one you think is your favorite. Although you don't really like this, but I wonder if you tend to like hand management, so maybe you just don't like the engine buildingness of it.
I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad game at all. I think I just need to play it again. It's just, I think it always comes back to for me when it's something like this where it's on the line. It's like, there are games that do similar things that I like more. So then I feel like there are certain games, especially like Mystic Vale or Red Rising, where I just feel like I like it so much better. I know it's not exactly the same, but I would just rather pull that off, and then they get compared to, those games that I really like, and so then I feel like it just hurts it more, even though it's probably not a bad game, but it's held to a higher standard, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, I get you there. And also, you probably don't like the metal coins in this game, I would guess.
You're such a liar. I love the metal coins and the gems. It's a really pretty game. Yeah,
I would definitely... if you get the chance, try either this or Century, Spice Road. They're really solid games of just converting resources into other resources to complete contracts. Really, the theme doesn't come through that much, at least in this one, versus the Spice Road. Cause you played the Spice Road one, right? I think this one makes it kind of come through a little more, just because it's got those gems. And I like it quite a bit, even... I think I like all three of them quite a bit. They'd probably all be, just from a quick guess, around 7.5 or higher even, for me. But yeah, they're all solid games. I'd probably go 3, 1, 2.
It just reminds me of the movie The Iron Giant from when I was a kid. I know they're like these big like creatures with like rocks and stuff on them, and it's not the same, but that's just kind of what I picture, because it's like this big gray thing out with the people. It
does kind of give that vibe, because the artwork is... I really like the artwork in the game.
Yeah,
the different types they have helping the people.
They're like these big giant golems, but they're so friendly and cute and helpful looking. I'd be like, I want a golem in my community.
Right, they're just lulling the people in,
even
and
if,
then going to destroy.
They're the size of my house.
Right, we're just waiting for the next trilogy where they destroy everything they've created.
Well, that would be a bummer.
I would be for it if it's a great game like those three.
Wow.
Oh boy, and then another new one to me.
Yeah.
You did not give it a try yet.
I didn't play it.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not... I think you should try it at least once. But
it's a solo game?
It is a solo-only game.
Oh.
But that's
that
why
means
I was thinking...
cooperative.
I don't know. It could sort of be cooperative. But yeah, that's why I don't know if you would play it.
Yeah.
And that's probably the one disappointing thing about it to me. I just wish it had 2 boards, and you could really play it the same way it's played if you got another set of it. I just wish it came with 2 boards so you could play it 2-player and just kind of be doing... kind of playing the game separately.
Okay.
Which I feel like is already done in a lot of games, you're kind of playing your own game.
Yeah.
And have very little interaction. So I don't know why this one couldn't have had that. But no, this one's a really solid, fun game. I wasn't sure, and I probably would have never really pulled the trigger on it. But Pepper has gotten into solo games a little bit more.
Thought you were gonna say coffee.
Well, yeah, I actually don't like coffee, so that's another thing. But I find the theme of like the coffee type thing interesting. But I personally don't want coffee. But no, I think it's a very solid game, and we actually, I think, have some videos on it. So you can check those out for a playthrough and a Pepper's thoughts on the game if you want to see that. So it's a very, very solid game if you're looking for a solo game. I think the rules, luckily Pepper taught me how to play the game, so I didn't have to look at the rules. But apparently I think people get a little frustrated by the rules, and maybe it's not set up the best, the rule book. But other than that, if you need to know the rules, just watch our videos and leave a comment, and Pepper will walk you through them for it.
Cappuccino, order up.
Well, yeah, and to know, I think so far, I don't think we've gotten rid of any of those games.
Oh yeah, we're terrible at remembering. No, we're
terrible. Well, we kind of mentioned, like Curious Cargo could maybe go after.
Yeah. I think it's just Century, and those are staying. So.
Yeah, I would just assume if we don't say Cull, it means keep, typically.
Yeah, we're not doing like a full-on clean out
but
here.
We are keeping Camel Up.
Camel Cup?
Camel Cup. This was one we'd played at the Dork Den originally, and I think the first game of it was very underwhelming. Yeah. Because if I remember right, like, just the way the dice came out, the game almost ended in, like...
It was really quick.
The minimum, well, it says 30 minutes. It was probably, like, 5 to 10 minutes. It was very, very short, like, just the way it came out. The same camel just kept moving, like, 3 spots. Or... maybe it was like one had gotten on top. There was a lot of movement, I remember, and it was like only a couple rounds.
Well, let me tell you something. Every play after that has been way more exciting.
Yes, 100%. I've absolutely loved the plays that we've had after that. It's just a really exciting game because you're always rooting for... well, maybe not always. Yeah. Sometimes it seems like you're rooting for the camel that's way behind because you're like, well, if this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, he could win the race yet.
You aren't, but my brother is.
I'm my excited
dad.
About it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to force the last one to get in, and then try to bid on a different last one and try to get one to go back.
Yeah, but only Zachary and my dad could make the last camel win.
That's true. By pulling out those 3s on the die.
Ridiculous.
Although... I think it was a little controversial the last time we played because I'm pretty sure the die was stuck still in the pyramid, and it would have been the opposite. The face would have been the same because it's only 1 through 3, and it would not have landed on the camel, and it would have totally changed the game. So I'm calling no win on that one. I'm gonna delete it out of my app as if it never happened.
Oh boy!
But no, this one's staying in the collection. It's a solid game. I think we got this copy from the Dorkton as a used copy, and I think that's been a good buy, in my opinion. Yeah,
I think it's super approachable. We did play it with my family, I think, over one of the holidays, and everyone had a really great time playing it. It's it's kind of a different group game, and I mean, who doesn't love a little friendly bet?
Right. Yeah.
Next time we should do it with real money.
And it's still very,
is that legal?
Very quick. You probably could do real money, but I don't really know how you'd divvy that out at the end. Yeah. But yeah, it's very quick as well, even with those higher player counts. Right. And speaking of party games.
Oh boy.
Got another one here.
Codenames.
Codenames. So, do you want to talk about Codenames?
Sure, dear. I can talk about it. So, if you don't know what Codenames is, you probably live under a rock at this point because... Wow. Because it's a really popular. It's really popular. It is really popular.
It is popular. I will give you that.
Super popular.
It is. I think it's the most voted on game on Board Game Geek.
Yeah. So, okay, if you haven't heard of it, well then let me introduce you to it. So it's this cool game where you're going to lay out a bunch of cards, you're going to form teams, and then you are going to try and get your team members to guess words by giving them one clue and a number of guesses, a one-worded clue. And you're trying to associate as many things as you can to that word without having your team members grab a wrong word, the opponent's word. So, like, the recent game we played, I was with my sister-in-law, and she said, like, a clue of triangle. And she gave me 3 things, and I think it was, like, the Himalayas, Bermuda, and I can't remember what the last thing was.
I don't remember what it was either.
But,
yeah, it was something that was a very loose definition or triangle.
Yeah. So you can have a lot of... Yeah, so it can be a lot of fun because, you know, you just have to have fun with it. You just try and figure out what words, and, you know, it's kind of similar to Taboo, I think, in some ways, where, you know, you're trying to get people to guess things, so you're kind of working off, you know, what do they know, what do I know, what's easy to associate with these things. So it's a really cool game, and I feel like I've seen it everywhere now ever since we've gotten it, so.
Yeah, if you're looking for a family game that you can share with kind of pretty much anyone in your family, mostly.
Yeah.
I think this is a solid one for that. And I think there's a bunch of different versions you can get. You can even get a duet. I haven't played any of the other versions, but I think that one is a cooperative if you were to just be playing 2-player. So I am a little interested in that one, but I think there's also like Harry Potter and all these other different
Themes.
ones too. Yeah. So I'm sure if you want it, it's probably got it's sort of like a Monopoly.
Wow.
Where it's got however many different versions. Not a monopoly on the market itself, but like the game Monopoly, where it's got a bunch of different. But
it can be customized
very
probably
solid.
just about anything these days. So.
And it will be also staying in our collection.
Yes, this one will be staying.
Ooh boy, now we're getting into a classic. Another one that's been in the collection for quite some time.
Yeah. I think we have quite a few videos on Carcassonne, don't we? Or at least a chippy or whatever.
We have some videos from, I think, early on in the channel's days on this one.
So go check those out.
And eventually, I don't know when, I'm not going to put any timeline on, but we're going to go over all the expansions in Carcassonne and kind of talk about those and do some extra videos for Carcassonne. So if you want to see those eventually, definitely subscribe, and maybe someday in 2026 you will see those videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one is still an excellent game in my mind. I know some games that you have for a while or whatever kind of get old or whatever. This one, to me, just doesn't seem to get old. I don't know, maybe you feel like it has a little bit, but to me it has not.
Yeah, I think there is just something classic about this one. It's so well-rounded. Like, I don't feel like it's ever lacking anything. So it's really surprising to me that they can make like 13 million expansions for it, because I felt like the base game alone was sufficient. So, I don't know. It's just a really kind of cutthroat and neat little tile laying game.
Yeah, depending on how you play, it can be very cutthroat. Don't play with myself and Pepper. Otherwise, you will be in some trouble, especially Pepper.
And you probably also
I'm pretty nice usually.
You'll probably also be like 85 years old.
Wow.
That is their chest.
That's probably about right. Ooh. We got another one that's...
I can't see.
When did we first play this one? Did we play it this year or last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
I think we started in like December or November.
Yeah, so it's still pretty new to us. We haven't completed the whole thing of Charterstone
You gotta
yet.
get on it though.
We do have to get on it.
Can't really talk too much about it because it's a legacy game.
That's true, but another reason to subscribe, if you haven't already, from my last comment, is we're going to have Stone Timber, where we're going to have a video every single day in September related to Stonemaier games, and one of them will be Charterstone. And in that, we'll probably be doing, I would assume, a recap of kind of our thoughts on the Charterstone campaign. We'll put a spoilers thing on there so you kind of know. But yeah, we'll have some videos on that and all the other Stonemaier games if you want to see that. But otherwise, just know this one's currently staying in our collection. I guess we'll reevaluate after we've kind of played that all the way through.
Yes.
But I think it's, I don't remember, is it a 12-game campaign or 10-game?
Something like that.
Something like that. Something like that. But no, so far, I've had fun with it.
Yeah, I think it's really fun.
Ooh. Game I could not get you to play.
Come on, you Scotsman.
Why wouldn't you play this one?
Oh, I don't know.
I think you would love it even more if you started playing it some more.
You know, I think over the last 6 years of this hobby, I've grown quite a bit. So I think if you brought this to the table now, I would be able to handle it. I just think when I first when he first brought it, I was not ready for this level of game, and I think that probably soured it for me, and so I'm just kind of like not interested in going back to it. But I think, you know, I think I could do it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just didn't feel like playing it.
Wow. This one has a special place for me, I think, because it's got the, like, Tapestry, which is my top game, or was last year at least.
Spoilers!
If you go back and watch our videos, just keep plugging the videos. We'll be having our top 50 coming out soon.
Like and subscribe.
But no, so Clans of Caledonia, I think this was one that when I first saw, so one of the things that I really like in games are wooden pieces. And the wooden pieces in this one, I really love. It's really great looking, and this one's got a lot of things. It's got a market system, it's got kind of controlling pieces of the board and stuff, and kind of a little bit of, I don't even know if you'd call it like it's sort of an engine, but it's not really, because you're kind of producing your own goods and then kind of converting them to other things like whiskey or cheese, things like that. And also potentially slaughtering your animals, possibly, if you're Pepper. Because we played this one on Board Game Arena, which has a really excellent, if you want to try it out before you buy it, that's an excellent place to do it. But yeah, I really love everything in this game, and it's probably, I'm trying to remember, it might be my favorite one out of this half of the C games. If not, it's right there.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a really great game. It's a very tight game. So if you like games like Tapestry where you're trying to prolong things as long as you can, this kind of has that same type of feel. So if you like that, I would definitely give this one a look at. The only really bad thing with this one is the box is just a bit too thin, because it's got a lot of stuff in there, and it does not fit in there very well.
No.
It's a very thin. It's a weirdly shaped box, and then it's also thin.
Yeah.
So.
Good job, Karma Game.
A little disappointed at that, but otherwise, amazing.
Yeah. I like it if you like it.
Wow.
We're keeping it, by the way.
Well, we are keeping it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow you to get rid of that one.
Oh, you're using one of your veto powers, huh?
But how many of those do I get? I hope a lot.
I'm going to
need them. I don't doubt it. But this is oh boy, this is another solid one.
Yeah.
Coal Baron.
I think we agree on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really like this game. I think, like, at first it was, like, a little, like, what are we doing with this? Like, the theme's not, like, overly, like, yay, good time. It's like, you're going to go down into the coal mine and you're going to bring up coal. So you really get that West Virginia feel. But I think it's really cool. You are getting carts, so you have to balance your little mine, and you have a little elevator that goes up and down. You're filling orders. And I just love the way that the worker placement works in this one. Where you know, if you put one on there, then the next person has to pay one plus another one of what you spent. So I think that's just really cool. The scoring, I think, is really unique, how it continues to build up. Definitely helps some people. But I feel like this one is, like, super approachable, super fun, and, like, pretty, I'd say somewhat rewarding. So I think it kind of gives you a good feel. Yeah,
I agree. And this time we played it this time was actually the first time, I believe, that we played it at four players.
Yeah.
And I actually think the scoring is a little more interesting with 4 players.
Yep.
Just because a lot of times I think we've played this at 2 players, and then you kind of know who's going to win what awards.
Yeah.
Whereas that kind of mixes it up a little bit more, and it was interesting where you were winning, like, the 2nd place award with only, like, completing one of the specific types of contracts that you needed.
Like I said, over the last 6 years, I've wised up to how to play these games. So I'm, like, looking around.
Just enough.
I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay, he's going for the trucks. He's got the whatever, and she's got the train. So I guess I'll take the horse carriage and cart. And I took the yellows right away because I saw there was a bunch of coal carts that were available for yellow, so I was like, look at that. Boom, strategy. And I came in 3rd.
So it almost...
But a close 3rd.
It was a very close game.
Who was it? Zachary hadn't tied with me on the trains or the carts or whatever they were, but
But no, this is another really solid game for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which is it? Maybe you haven't looked at all of them that are coming up, but is this your favorite one from this half of the SEA Games?
It's not, but I would say
No.
it's probably in the upper half of the SEA Games, probably in general too.
Yeah. I think it just doesn't have quite enough for me to be the top, but it's still one of my favorite SEA Games.
It's solid, but I wouldn't say it's heavy. And I
Right.
think you would
Yeah, it
probably
is.
prefer for there to be some kind of heavier element in there.
Yeah, but that's one that I actually wish we played a little bit more.
Yeah,
So.
I do too.
Oh, then we'll get to your favorite one. I can just tell by the cover that this is going to be your favorite SEA Game of this half. It definitely won't be our favorite SEA. Well, I shouldn't say definitely, because like I said, we were doing our top 50 of all time, and last year hers may or may not have been Cartographers, which is one that we covered in the first half. I think that one's still probably your favorite SEA Game.
Who knows?
But tell us about this one. That's your favorite.
I just said everything about Colbert, and I don't know. The names are cute. The cards are cute. It's interesting. It's fine.
I like it more than you. I think I would say if it didn't have like each different type of color of die having like a character associated with it, I think it would lose almost everything it has.
Yes.
I think if it was just colors,
Yeah.
it would not be the same. But knowing like, okay, this white cat die is a smelly cat,
Yes.
and you're rolling that instead, or
the dog is Mr. Dog, or Muggles,
right,
or Secret Fish.
right, the llama being a secret fish.
Yeah.
I think that element just it kind of makes the game. I think.
It brings so much fun to the game because it's kind of this zany, wonky,
over the
thematically
top, as you can tell from the cover.
weird game. Yeah, I forget what this one's called. Leader cheesing.
Leader cheesing.
Yeah.
That might be one of them. There's several ones you can pick from. It's in a way similar to like a Quacks of Quedlinburg, where you can set up different cards each time to make the dice do slightly different things that you're buying, but you buy them just like that. It has a lot of similarities to that, but instead of going around a pot, you're racing around a track, and the first one to get around wins the game. And I like it quite a bit, but it is. I think you have to kind of be in the mood for it to enjoy it a little bit more.
And it's a
just
race
because
game
it's
too.
a little
and
wackier.
we're only playing it 2-player too. So a race game 2-player, I think we're missing more players with this game. I'd like to see it at a higher player count because
That's true.
I don't know if that would just bungle it up or if that would slow it down more. I don't know, but
See, I don't think it would, because you can simultaneously kind of roll and stuff. So I don't think it would do
I don't mean like
too much.
slow down the game. I meant like slow down like the race. So
Maybe
I
a
don't
little bit. I think it'd slow down a little bit, but I don't think it would be too bad
yeah,
compared to some games when you start adding more players.
right.
But
Yeah.
I think I would stay, in my opinion.
I think we'll keep it for now.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Now we're getting. Is this your favorite? Or wait, have we already said your favorite?
No.
Hopefully, I got all of them, because we don't have many left, and I know one of them isn't.
We'll see.
She's like, oh shoot, maybe it was in the first half.
No.
But this was one that I'd played a few times and gotten back to after not playing it for a little while.
Yeah.
My last play was with Abby. But you
This
got it to
was
the
my
table for the
first try,
time.
yeah. And I think if you watched our, no spoilers here, well, there's the spoiler, but if you watched our recap of the Alphabet Soup,
Push our videos.
we are getting rid of Agricola for various reasons. Check out that video to find out why. But learning this game was a breeze, considering I already knew how to play Agricola. I think this is Agricola 2.0, much more forgiving in scoring. Still some elements from Agricola I don't like, but I think the dog meeple really saves it for me. No, it's cute. It just gives you a lot more to do, I think. You're farming and you're doing the things from Agricola while at the same time building out a cave, and I think the scoring is just more forgiving.
Yeah, because you can watch why for Agricola, but yeah, the scoring is the big part in that one, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you can kind of have as many sheep as you want.
There's no fumbly cards. You can
Right.
just turn in your animals for food. You know, it just is, I think, a little bit more approachable, especially because it's 2 food per person. So I feel like some games like Stone Age allow you to get something to help you with that, but I feel like Agricola and Caverna never do, and so you're always constantly having to spend time trying to figure out how to get food, and it's like the most annoying thing ever. But
yeah. But no, getting back to this game, I was like, I really actually like this one quite a bit, especially when I'm comparing it in my head to Agricola. I'm like, oh, this, I kind of almost think Agricola maybe tainted it a little bit for me.
True.
But I think this one's quite a bit better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that put the final nail in the coffin for me. And now that you've played it, even though you were already willing to let Agricola go, I'm thinking if you hadn't before, I think this would have maybe done it.
I think if it's going to come down to, like, choose which one to play, I'd be like, if we're going to play Agricola, we might as well just play Caverna, because I like that one better.
And also, this is a game you can play all the way up to 7 players if you would like.
I cannot imagine.
I'm thinking that's what people all were upset at with Agricola. They're like, we need 7 players.
It makes me wonder, though, honestly, because Agricola is like what, in like the BGG top 100 or
I think
something?
both of them are.
Oh, they both are? Okay. Because I was like, the people who like Agricola better than Caverna, come for me in the comments.
There's a lot of people that really do like Agricola quite a bit.
I know. I just don't agree with them.
Actually, I think I did a post on Instagram about it, and I asked if anyone had done the 7-player, and someone said they had, and said it was a very long game. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I might want to get rid of Caverna after that.
That's something to put on your bucket list. Oh, boy. I know this one isn't it. I love it.
Spoilers.
I love it. Champions of Midgard, and actually with the Dark Mountain and Valhalla expansion. Yeah. So those were new to you. You'd played Champions. What did you think of the expansions?
Well, so I didn't really like Champs of Midgard. Like, I thought it was good. I thought it was, fun. I thought it was interesting to go fight the monsters. A little frustrating, in some respects. And so it's fine. It wasn't one that I was, like, dreading bringing to the table, but I knew going into it, like, I really don't have a chance to win, and I'm just kind of here to be a player in those games. And I still kind of feel that same way, but I feel like the 2 expansions are, which is, interesting, because I don't normally say this, but the 2 expansions are 100% necessary for this game. Like, they make it so much better, gives you so much more room on the board, so many more options. I just thought the new dice, the new aspects of this, just... chef's kiss. Love it.
Yeah, I already like Champions of Midgard quite a bit, but I think the expansions have really rocketed it up for me even more. It's one that it's been, I don't know if it's totally a slow burn, but it's been one that just continued to kind of climb as I play it more and more, just because I think I've just been willing to take more chances. Like, originally I thought, okay, I have to make sure I'm almost 100% guaranteed to be able to kill this monster, but now it's kind of like, just playing loose with it, like, I'm just going to send 1 die there and hope for the best, hope it doesn't die, hope it can at least kill it and then die or something.
Right, well, you tend to roll better than me, though, so...
A little bit.
Yeah. The dice hate me.
They do in some games, but, I'm not allowing this one to leave it.
Yes.
So if it's not clans, it's probably this one. Probably between those 2 for this half of the seas that are my favorite.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And not your favorite?
No. And I think the little meeples we got, they're like actually Vikings right now, and I just love that. It's so cool. So much fun.
Oh boy. Now.
Canvas.
Now the one that you can hang on your wall. And I think
is that how they advertise it?
If they didn't, they should have. But no, Canvas is one now. I'm trying to remember when I first played it. I know it wasn't my first play. Was it? No, it wasn't your first play.
No, I played it twice.
Played it a couple times. But yeah, this is one where you're putting together a portrait and kind of a, I don't know, if you played Mystic Vale, you're putting together a card, but in this one you're putting together 3 different masterpieces.
Yeah.
With different see-through
Trying to
cards
get
or whatever.
elements in the overall masterpiece.
Yeah, on the bottom of them, it's kind of like you're trying to get certain ribbons, kind of a set collection sort of thing. But it seems like it should be like a really, really simple game, or like almost too simple, or like nothing to it. But then you play it and you're like, wow, this is way thinkier than you would ever think.
Yeah.
Because, trying to mix together the best combos you can.
Yeah.
While also
trying to get points and...
Yeah, I think it's a lot funner than... Cause I think one of the things I was worried about at first on this one was that it might end up being too light, and it's just one that it's
not the case.
Like, right, it's one that you're almost like, yeah, we're playing it, but are we making any decisions? And you definitely are making some decisions in this game.
Yeah.
And it looks really beautiful. I really like the pieces of art you end up putting together. Look really nice at the end. It's just a unique theme, unique game.
Yeah. I think it is really unique. I will say that I'm not like the biggest fan of this game. Like, I don't think it's bad, but it doesn't also tickle my fancy. So it's kind of like a...
And it's going to have a lot better chance of staying in our collection than the other games, just because we can hang it on the wall.
Yes.
So once we run out of wall space, then we're in some trouble.
Yeah, well, I wasn't about to say that it was leaving the collection.
Not like I was about to say that for this next game.
Are you serious? You're such a liar.
So I think this is the last one.
Yeah.
So it's all or nothing here, Michaela. What do you have to say about this one?
I love Clank.
Well, have you played the original?
No. So we got a Clank Legacy, obviously, this Clank Legacy box, which at the end of it ends up being your own version of Clank. So I don't know exactly what that's like, but
similar.
I love the hand management, card drafting, whatever situation is going on here.
Deck building.
Yes. With this game, it is so much fun, and I will say that it is a little stressful to go and try and get artifacts. And I think the replayability does suffer a bit, but I would say it's my favorite in this half because it doesn't come to the table very often. So that replayability factor, not super, terrible for me on this, because I feel like the deck and just the reminiscence of how fun it was to play the Legacy game, I think, keep it relevant and fun for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say going through the actual campaign of it was probably one of my favorite all-time game experiences.
Yeah.
But yeah, the worst part is I played Clank, the original, a couple times, and really liked it at that point. But then, except after you play this solid Legacy game, which
it is,
like I said, one of my top experiences of all time.
Yeah.
But then going back to the game afterwards, it still plays like Clank, and still an excellent game. But it's just I don't know. It's like a punch in the gut almost.
Yeah.
I just remember when we were going through this, and it was just, it's hard because it was so high in my mind, and then it's like, this is still fun, but it's like it's missing something.
I know.
So I would really love if they came out with another Legacy.
Yeah.
Whether it be Clank in Space Legacy or
I'd tell
whatever.
you to buy it, baby.
Acquisition Incorporated 2. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
I'll get it right away.
Yeah.
No matter what the price. Okay, well, maybe there's a limit. But no,
Yeah.
I would highly, highly recommend, if you have played just the original Clank and like it, well, unless you want to, there's a potential it could hurt it for you coming out of it, but I would say going through it the first time and whatever the experience is 100% worth it.
Yeah.
We played like the Charterstone, played some Pandemic Legacy, and I still think so far
This is the best Legacy that
I've played.
Yeah, I would agree. It was killer. I loved it. But I still like Clank as it is. I mean, I like that card management, hand management, deck building is kind of like a niche I've been really, noticing that I've been gravitating towards in the last, 2 years. So I feel like it's just right up my alley for that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
I
think the only reason that would ever go is just because the box is huge. That's
but
the only.
It's specific to our game.
I know it is, and that's what keeps.
But what are we gonna do with it?
I
Can't
know,
just give it away.
That's just it. That's the tough part about it, because it's like, the worst part is this one takes up so much room.
Okay, it's not any worse than dwellings.
I am not even gonna respond to that.
Or Cthulhu, or Too Many Bones.
Wow, she's going after Pepper hardcore here.
Or Isle of Cats, big box. Or Psy.
True. Too Many Bones won't even fit in a Calyx cube. I don't know what they were even thinking. I think they are doing releasing boxes or something.
They
different size ones.
They just wanted the prime location. They knew it would have to be displayed because it couldn't fit on a shelf.
It is true, but
yeah.
If you've made it this far and liked what we had to say, or
if you made it,
definitely give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Otherwise, if you've somehow made it this far and haven't liked any of it, we applaud you.
You're a real pal.
But yes, if you want to see the future recaps of the different letters we're going to do,
yep, we're heading to the D.
We're going into the D's.
Yep.
Which one's going to be your favorite D? Since you've already called out dwellings.
I think it's super obvious which one's going to be my favorite.
You're going to try your brother's Dune?
No.
You might.
I might have to.
We might have to try it. We'll see.
Yeah. Poor guy. He wants to play it so bad.
I really want to give it a try too,
I know.
but I think it's going to be. It's kind of like a set a day aside to do it type thing.
It's going to have to be.
But yes, otherwise, feel free to subscribe if you want to see that.
And our crazy
Not
madness.
Dune. I don't think we're going to play that.
Yeah.
We're not going to go through our first play of Dune. Recording it. That will not be fun to. Well, maybe it would be. I don't know. But otherwise,
you'll just see me staring at the board in my hand, like.
You won't be staring at the board. You'll be looking at your phone. You'll be like, I ain't listening to this anymore.
Wow.
But we hope to see you on the next one if there is a next one. If not, send help.
Wow.
So guys, thank you for watching, and as always,
don't forget to
keep on nibbling on our content.
I hate that so much.